In today's video, I want to touch on a topic that hits close to home for many people, and that's cars. And more specifically, how buying cars might actually be keeping you broke. Sounds crazy, right? Well, make sure you stick around because by the end of the video, you're going to see why buying cars may actually be hurting your pockets. So let's face it, buying cars can be an extremely expensive process. So not only do you have to account for the actual sticker price that you're paying for the car, you have to take into account things such as maintenance, gas, insurance, depreciation, and let's not forget the interest on the loan that you take out to actually buy that car. And when you combine all of those things together, many people are buying cars and they're not thinking about the actual true cost it is to own that vehicle. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen the latest video that's been trending on social media where there is a guy that's calling into a car dealership and he has a credit score of 400, but he is looking to buy a car that's over $100,000. And he is willing to do whatever it takes to get into that vehicle. Now, if you haven't seen that video, here's a clip of it right here.
Hello, this is Terry.
Hey Terry, this is Alex at Earth Motor Cars.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? Hey, just giving you a call about this 2023 Black Ghost Challenger that you inquired about. The one that's one of 300, and just seeing if you had any questions and what I need to do to earn your business. Would you be paying cash or financing this car?
This particular one, I'm gonna be financing.
Okay, awesome. And how much money were you planning on putting down, and what's your credit like?
That car was listed at like 140,000 or something.
Yeah, 158.9 it's online for. Again, there's only 20 miles on it, and it's one of 300. Terry, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to negotiate against myself. I definitely have some room in it to work on it. But I want to get to the credit application first, make sure that we're good to go with the banks and whatnot, and then go from there. Does that work with you?
Yeah, I mean, whatever gets me into the car, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if I like it, if the numbers sound good, then I'm gonna leave that car. I'm gonna leave with that car. So
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what your credit was the last time you checked, by chance, just before we do a credit application?
Yeah, I checked earlier this year. It was like about 400 to 440.
Now, I didn't play that video to make fun of someone for having a low credit score or not being able to get the car that they want. I played that video to illustrate that some of us will do whatever it takes to go out and get something that may not be in our best interest. So I want to dive into a couple of things that you have to consider anytime you're going out to purchase a car. Now, the first thing that you need to take into consideration when buying a new car is the depreciation. Now, many of us have heard the saying that your car loses 10% of its value as soon as you start it up, drive it off the lot, and onto the main road. And by the end of the first year of owning that car, you can expect your car to have lost an additional 5 to 10% of its value due to depreciation. Now, some people will say, well, I need a new car because I don't want to have to deal with any issues that the previous owner may have had or any maintenance issues that may come up in the first year of ownership. But if you go out and you buy a car that's 3 or 4 years old, you can avoid a lot of that depreciation that actually impacts the car's value within the first few years. So whenever I go out to buy a car, I typically look for a car that's 3 to 4 years old because I know a majority of the accelerated depreciation on the front end has already occurred, and I can get a good car at a good price. So I can tell you that I've only owned one brand new car in my life, and it was one of the worst financial decisions that I had ever made because I only kept the car for a little over a year, and whenever I sold the car, I think I lost 30 to 35% of what I paid for that car whenever I traded it in for a different vehicle. Next, let's talk about financing. As most of you know, the average cost to purchase a car continues to increase every single year. And there's something else that continues to increase every single year, and that is the length of time that people are taking out for auto loans. Back in the day, you would typically see car loans for 36 to 48 months, with 60 months kind of being the outlier on the high end. But nowadays, you're actually seeing advertising for car loans for 72 months all the way up to 84 months, which to me is crazy. So you're taking out a loan on a car for 6 to 7 years, And on top of that, in today's economic environment, we are seeing interest rates above 6%. So not only are you paying for a depreciating asset for 6 to 7 years, you're paying an interest rate above 6%, which is adding an additional $4,000 to $6,000 on top of the price of that new vehicle that you just purchased. So whenever you add in the cost for the car, you add in depreciation, and on top of that, the additional amount that you're paying to finance that vehicle over that 6 to 7 year period, the cost of that new car starts to be much more expensive than you thought it was going to be when you signed that paperwork. Next, let's add in the cost for insurance. And that's typically going to be more expensive on a new car than it is on a car that's, for example, 3 to 5 years old. And your cost will also increase if you're under 25 in most states. So you add in all those fees, and that car that you thought was $35,000 is now really costing you $45,000 over a 6 or a 7 year time frame. So what's the alternative? So the first option is to buy a used car that's 3 to 4 years old. A lot of the depreciation in that car has already taken place, and you can find some really good deals on cars that are just coming back off of a lease. And by going this route, you'll save a ton of money on that front end depreciation. The second option would be to buy a car that's 5 to 8 years old that you can either buy for cash or you can pay off in 12 to 24 months. This might be your best option, especially if you're young and you're just starting out, or you have a lot of debt, or you're interested in investing money in real estate or in the stock market. Because once you have a car that's paid off and you no longer have to worry about paying a payment every single month, it frees up additional money for you to invest in either stocks or in real estate, or to pay off any other debts that you may have accumulated over time. The third option would be geared more towards people that live in urban areas that have access to public transportation, or they're in an area they can either walk or bike to work. And if you live in an area that has reliable public transportation, this could be the optimal choice for you because it'll allow you to save so much money because you won't have to pay for things such as gas or insurance or worry about depreciation. If you go with one of the options to actually buy a car, my suggestion would be is that once that car is paid off, you just drive it until the wheels fall off, because that's going to give you the most flexibility to be able to use that money for other things such as investing or purchasing real estate, or just simply paying off debts that you've accumulated over time. So what do you think? Are cars actually keeping you broke? Let me know down in the comment section. If you got some value from this video, consider subscribing, and while you're at it, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.